All right, back and forth we go. The Padres are hot again. Remember, Jim, the website? This is kind of a weird place to start. Remember the hot or not from like
What?
2006 or something?
Hot or not?
You know, hot or not. It was like basically like dating before dating, right? Like, is this guy
Oh,
hot?
the dating? Bro, you're going circa 06 on me?
I mean, it's true. Does anyone know what I'm talking about, hot or not?
06?
My point, maybe it was
you
like
remember the show from 1992?
I'm like stuck in 1998. In 1998, there was a website or something called Hot or Not. And it was like, oh, this guy is hot, or this woman is hot, or she's anyway.
John, they've won 3 games in a row. That's maybe cool down to like hot or not.
They're either hot or not.
They've won 3 games in a row.
They're hot, but they're
warming
up.
They're heating up from the game. What's the game? The video game called, since we're doing circa like 1974.
NBA Jam.
NBA Jam. Yeah.
All right.
They're heating up.
Let's get this thing back on the tracks. Let's get it back on the tracks. Padres shut out the Nats tonight. Their starting pitching has been unbelievable since the All-Star break. So we're with you for the next hour. Okay, we'll react to a 4-0 win this afternoon in DC. I don't even know it.
Hey, do you remember the Hot or Not show in 2001? What? Random as fuck.
It wasn't a show, I don't think. I don't even know what it was. It might have been 98, to be honest with you.
Hold on. Hot or Not show.
It's not a show. It was like an internet site. People posted photos of like their buddies or and then the internet decided if the person was hot.
That's like you're thinking of the movie MySpace. When they had the MySpace and they're like the hot or not.
I need to open the window. I'm hot, dude, right now. No, not like I'm like
hot or not. Up. Here we go. Hot or Not, the forgotten website that shaped the internet.
Thank you.
Before MySpace, before Facebook, before Twitter, before YouTube, before Instagram, before Tinder, there was Hot or Not, created on a lark. In 2000, Hot or Not became what we now call an overnight viral hit by letting people upload pictures of themselves on the internet.
And then the internet would decide if the person was attractive.
Total strangers could rate their attractiveness level on a scale of 1 to 10.
Yes.
30 years later.
That's been 24. I thought it would be very relevant to start the wrap-up show tonight.
So basically what you're saying is, let's put a picture of the Padres on the internet and they'll decide if they're hot or not.
Dude, I love that idea. I absolutely love that idea right now. Let's get this thing on track. You're amazed by this. All right. Padres over the Nats 4-0.
Oh my God.
Hold on. I'm opening the window.
It's been 4 minutes, dude.
Holy crap.
Hey, do you remember that really amazing website back in 2000?
Do you remember that movie, Gone with the Wind? That's been the Padres.
You remember that movie, Old Yeller?
Dude, I'm sweating. It's kind of hot.
Oh my God.
All right, let's seriously get this thing on track. Padres win. Subscribe. We have year-round content for you that's typically related to the Padres and not 2000 internet. Smash the like button. How can you not?
I did love AOL chat.
Dude, AIM Instant Messenger was we normally go off the rails 58 minutes in or an hour and 16 in.
My what was your username? I remember my username.
I'm laughing at the Ask Jeeves comment in the chat.
Hey, do you remember Ask Jeeves?
Do you remember the CD in the back of the magazines? To like,
remember floppy disks?
I'm serious. Prodigy or whatever. Do you remember modems?
Fuck, dude. What are we doing? Hey, the first thing you say is, "Hey, remember that like show or website, Hot or Not?" The Padres are like that right now.
What was your? I can't get into this right now. So dumb.
I don't know, dude.
I can't.
Do you remember Game Gear?
Dude, wait, was that the little portable thing?
Remember bum fights?
I remember everything from 98.
You are Mr. 98.
Holy shit.
What was your username, by the way?
I don't even know. I really don't.
Mine was Chips2237.
Oh, I'm sure you're just getting. I'm sure you were just the coolest guy on the internet.
I was not.
All right. Do we want to segue?
Sure.
No, I didn't have anything. I thought this would be a good way to start the wrap-up show. It was a.
To compare the Padres to the website Hot or Not from 2000.
Okay, with the benefit of hindsight, it was a really dumb idea. It was a really dumb idea. Randy Vasquez was, I don't know how you get this thing back in the rails.
What are we doing?
Okay, here's the thing. Please subscribe. Here on Content for Padres fans. If you want more of this, subscribe. Smash the like button for us.
Hey, if you want Hot or Not talk, subscribe to the wrap-up show.
Russell SD. Thank you for the super chats. We'll get to all of them. It's a great way to support our work. In the baseball game of 2024, on this July 23rd, Jurickson Profar, Luis Arraez homer. Randy Vasquez threw 68 pitches. We thought it was 69. He threw 68 pitches tonight.
I'm going with 69. It's better. Sounds better.
6+ innings. In his last 5 starts, he's been incredible. I don't have the numbers in front of me. Jim loves, he can find it. Last 5 starts is available. Maybe a 2 ERA, something like that. Maybe under a 2 ERA. But Vasquez, after what Cease and King and Waldron did in Cleveland, the Padres pitching is rolling. They've had enough timely hitting, and they're 3-1 on this road trip. And if you're asking whether they're hot or not, they're hot right now. They've won 3 straight.
So
what?
So being hot is defined by winning 3 games in a row.
Well, I would tell you, and they've also been not a lot this year, like when they've lost 5 straight.
I think you define being hot as 5 games in a row.
Well, then they've only been hot 1 time this year.
Okay. Sorry for that burp.
Yeah, what are you doing, man? This is a professional channel.
Oh, okay. They have started out the road trip exactly as you hoped, especially after Friday night. Like Friday night, you're like, oh shit, here we go. And they bounce back, win 3 in a row. And that's exactly what you wanted out of the break, especially with a really tough road trip. And you just hope that the start of this road trip continues for the remainder of it and they don't trip up. And all of a sudden we're sitting here tomorrow night and be like, they've won 4 of 5. And then they immediately lose like the next 3 games or something like that. So where the road trip had an opportunity, you had the opportunity to make this like a season defining road trip. And instead it's just like, it's good, not great, or it's fine, it's not great. You take it because it's not the end of the world and you move on. Or you could really make a dent here and, you know, have a road trip where at the end of the year, you could say like, man, that 7-2 road trip, I'm just going like crazy number here. Like, man,
well, that would be hot.
Yeah, it'd be hot. Like, man, that 7-2 road trip really saved their season right before the All-Star, or right before the deadline.
I mean, would you take, okay, so they're 3-1. They've got 5 games left in the trip. 3 of them are in Baltimore, and we know the Orioles are good. I'm with you. I mean, I'd like to see them finish it off like 6-3. That's 3-2 from here on out. I can't with this. Then you're 6-3. I mean, truthfully, Jim, you go 2-3 over these next 5 games. It's not like a dream scenario. You go 5-4. Who was talking 5-4 trip?
Sure.
Were you?
Well, we said we would take 5-4 in a second, right?
Well, yeah, I think we said we'd take 4-5. Truthfully, get home 500 because it was a bit of a dire trip. Like, what if he went to Cleveland, lost 2 out of 3? What if he went to DC, lost 2 out of 3? So I think they're trending where they need to trend. I mean, there's 59 games remaining, and they are in that dogfight to get into the postseason. But you get through these 9 games, Jim, and I mean, they've done a lot of the work. You're coming back home. We've talked about these 15 games. You've talked about these things since like 98. The Rockies and the Marlins and the Pirates. Now, the Pirates are playing really well, and I don't know if they're going to face Skeens or not. You can either face him twice or miss him twice based on that, right? Because it's 6 games in 9 days or 6 games in 10 days. So you could theoretically miss him, or you could get him 2 times. But I think you get through this thing 5-4 or better, and the trade deadline, you think you're going to bolster and get better. I like their chances because this was the big hurdle, man. You go 2-7 on this trip, everything's a disaster. You avoid that, you go 5-4 or better. And again, cautious optimism is what I would say down the stretch for the Padres.
Tonight, Randy Vasquez was, exactly what you would want out of your 4th starter. He was brilliant for his, even though he only had 1 strikeout tonight.
He only had 2 swings and misses.
Crazy.
A lot of early contact.
Yes. And I think he could have gone longer, but you had a rested bullpen, so go for it, right? You had yesterday off. You don't want to try anything here. You take your 6 and you leave, and you feel fantastic about it. And then the offense tonight did just enough to get the job done. You had, the homers from Arraez and Profar. You had the multiple hit games from Bogey and Manny and Merrill. And, like I said, it feels like they have enough, right? Like, if it doesn't it feel like offensively they have the enough pieces?
Bro, I've been saying that. You were ripping the offense 2 days ago. I'm with you.
I've been saying that. I've been just saying that their offense has, for the last, week heading back before the All-Star break, has been shit.
True. But I mean, here, 4 runs, say that's fine. With their pitching, 4 runs, you're going to win a good amount of games. I'm
just saying, like, they have enough. I don't think it's DEFCON 1 when the offense isn't doing anything. Like, tonight's game, it wasn't the best offensive game by any stretch.
No, they didn't score until what? 2 outs in the 5th.
Yeah, 2 for 9 with runners in scoring position. They had a couple opportunities with the bases loaded, I think, and they didn't come through. And it could have been a way more lopsided game for sure. But 4 runs is 4 runs, and you take it. And if you score 4 runs, you should win those games more often than not. And yeah, they just the pitching has been the story here, though. The pitching by far has been the story for this Padres team to start the second half here with the first turn in the rotation with Waldron, Cease, King, and Vasquez. They have been brilliant.
All right. So to that point, real quick, because this was on Padres.tv, you took a photo of it. I'm glad you did. I mean, this is what's happened over the last 4 games for the Padres. Waldron out of the break, 6 innings, 1 run. Okay. Cease game 2 in Cleveland, 7 innings, 1 hit, no runs, 10 strikeouts, 1 walk. Michael King, 7 innings, 2 hits, 1 run, 6 strikeouts, 1 walk, by the way. Randy Vasquez tonight, 6 innings, 4 hits, no runs. And you combine that and you add it all up, Jim, and that is 26 innings, 2 earned runs allowed for the Padres, who have issued 2 walks in those 26 innings and have struck out 22. I mean, it's utter dominance. Now, the issue isn't the way the starters are pitching. The issue is you have 4 starters. Mathematically, that doesn't typically work. And like I've said before, is what happens if something happens? We've already seen things happen. Musgrove, Darvish, Mazur's ineffectiveness. Vasquez earlier in the year was ineffective. He's completely turned it on. His last 5 starts have been great. Mm-hmm. We had Grant Paulson, MLB Network Radio today. I said, would you add multiple starters? He said, yeah, I would if I was in their shoes. Now, I don't know if they will because Vasquez has been great. You can add a 5th. That's amazing. Or you add someone that you slot in ahead of him, like you talked about, like Jack Flaherty. But you still only have 5 in that scenario. You got 5 really good pitchers in that scenario, but what if something happens? So that's why I like a Flaherty Martinez or like someone that can fill multiple roles for you, like a number 6 starter, so to speak, because I don't think they have a number 6 starter in the organization. I don't think it's Adam Mazur. I don't think it's Johnny Burrito who's hurt.
They don't have a fifth starter, John.
That's the thing. So I'm adding 2 because I don't just want a fifth. Because what if I add a fifth and then I have an injury? I think I want to add 2 to be safe based on their recent track record as an organization in the second half.
Yeah. Yeah. 1 minimum, 2 to be safe, 3 to be happy, and 4. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Right.
I do think, like, pull some names up here. Garrett Crochet and who am I blanking? The Tiger Scooble. Those guys are out. But of the starters, I think at least 1, maybe 2 will be Padres. Andrew Haney, Michael Lorenzo, Frankie Montas, Nathan Eovaldi, Cal Quantrill, Kikuchi, Tyler Anderson, Eric Fetty, Jack Flaherty. I think one of those will be Padres. One of those players will be a Padre. I would be surprised if I would be shocked. Did I say Cal Quantrill? Yeah, Cal Quantrill. I'd be shocked if not one, like if the names I just read off there, at least
of the 10 you name, 1 wasn't a Padre.
Right. If 1 doesn't become a Padre here by the trade deadline on Tuesday.
I think 2.
Okay.
We'll see. I think
1 or 2.
I think it's going to be 2.
1 guaranteed, 2 we'll see.
Possible.
But 1 guaranteed of the 10 names that I just named off there, or however many it was, one of those players will become a Padre.
All right, guys, seriously, subscribe. We are here for you, especially with the trade deadline approaching. Please subscribe here on content. We appreciate your support of the channel. We really do. With the super chats, as you can tell, we've gone crazy. We appreciate your support. Click the $ below the chat box. We'll get to every single super chat here tonight. We're working our way towards 6,600 subscribers. Can you help us get there by the trade deadline? We really do appreciate it. Just subscribe. Zach, thank you. Appreciate your support. Thanks for the first super of the night. He says, looking at our schedule, August. So you've been talking August 1 through 15. He says, August 22nd through the 29th. That's where the wild card is decided for us. That is Mets at home for 4 and Cardinals on the road for 4. Successive 4-game series. 4 at home against the Mets, 4 on the road in St. Louis. That's really interesting. 8 games against wildcard contenders, the Mets and the Cardinals at the end of August. That'll be interesting.
Yeah, but you got to get there in position first. Like if you get there and you're like, 4 or 5 back or whatever, and you completely fumbled the opportunity that was in front of you with playing the Marlins and the Rockies and the Pirates there, even the Pirates are actually pretty decent. Then
maybe really good.
Then those series will just be to like, hey, we need to hang around and we need to win these series to hang around instead of you win these series and you just kind of gain ground or like it just, you got to worry about the stretch where they play the bad teams. And then when you get there, hopefully you're already in a good position instead of like not having to put yourself to where you have to win those games just to stay in arm's length or whatever.
It's an interesting point though, because I mean, you look at where the Mets are, you look at where the Cardinals are. Yeah, it's just an opportunity. I mean, maybe you do go 6-2 in that 8-game stretch and all of a sudden you're passing teams by, or to your point, maybe you don't take advantage over the next month or you don't play well in those 2 series and you drop a couple of games. I mean, they're all going to matter. There's 59 games left and they haven't put themselves in a situation where losing a game or losing a series isn't impactful. It is. Every win feels big. Every loss feels magnified. Every wasted opportunity is just that. So, I mean, if they were 63-40, it's a completely different conversation about this team right now. It's all about playoff positioning. It's all about health. It's all about playing your best baseball late. But they're not. They're 53-50. We've played this game before. They've gone 3-4-5 up this year and then fallen back to 500. So is this the time they avoid doing that? Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you. That's the wrong saying, but you get it. Like they got to prove that they can consistently stay above 500. Is now the time they're going to do it? Stay tuned. We'll find out in the days and weeks ahead. Like you've said before, Jim, you don't trust them. And I understand that. I do. I trust them to make it complicated, so to speak. I trust them to hang in it till the very end. I promise you that. I'd be shocked if they weren't in it late. And I think we both give him at least a 50-50 shot, if not better, of making the postseason. We've talked about it.
There's one thing I want to talk about from tonight's game. And I think it just doesn't, I mean, it's just kind of nitpicking. It's a nitpick, but it needs to happen. And I'm sorry, but Bryce Johnson should never see another at bat with the Padres. Again, I'd rather see Tyler Wade out there in right field, or I know David Peralta. There's a lefty on the mound tonight. I get it, but Bryce Johnson should not be on this team.
Well, what option do they have? They have this Tirso or Nealis character, right?
I'd much rather see Tirso.
Yes.
I'd much rather see Tyler Wade. I'd much rather see. I know there's a lefty, but
David
still,
Peralta's been playing obviously a lot.
Yeah, but he didn't start tonight because of a lefty.
I know, but then again, nor did Donovan Solano. You'd think, well, he would have started against a lefty. So I don't know if it was strictly platoon based or not. Here's the thing. Why was anyone expecting anything else? They need Tatis. There's no Peralta, Wadey, or Nealis, right? I mean, Bryce, I get it. I understand it. He's struggled for 3 weeks or whatever it's been, but
he's not a big leaguer, right? He's not.
No, I don't even know. Whatever. I mean, is he the reason why they are where they are or aren't where they are?
No, he's not. He gives you nothing, like literally nothing. But it's just, it's an observation that you have here, and you're always looking to ways to improve the team. Like, I think what they have with Arraez and Profar and Bogey and Manny and Cronenworth and Kim and Gashioka, Solano on your bench, you have David Peralta, like that's enough to get it done for the time being, for sure. Until Tatis gets back or whenever that case may be. But like, I mean, I just, it's just one thing from tonight. You're like, yeah, why are we even attempting to play this guy?
Well, like, he's just tonight. I don't know if he's had any meaningful. He's had a couple of bunts or maybe a single, but
get him off. It doesn't belong on this team. Doesn't belong at the major league level. He's a minor league player. I know it's harsh, but it's reality.
That's well, again, you're not going to replace Tatis with anyone in this organization.
I'm not saying to replace Tatis. I'm just saying you can do way better and infinitely better than Bryce Johnson getting at bats.
Probably. I mean, I don't know about infinitely bad. I don't know. Like if Tyler Wade was playing every single day, would that be that much of an upgrade? I don't know. He's had some moments. And if David Peralta was playing every single day, I mean, he was getting vilified before this month, and this month he's been really good. Why didn't
David Peralta play today?
I have no idea. Murray, thank you. He says, you guys see the guy dressed up as Captain Obvious at the game? Yes.
Right, yeah.
It was kind of cool. That was like the highlight for, I think, the Nationals tonight, a guy dressed up as Captain Obvious in the stands. That was their big promotion.
You got it. Good job.
Retod, thank you for the super chat, guys. If you're here, subscribe. And if you're here, thank you for the supers. Click the $ below the chat box. I think this is facetious. He says a lot of teams will be trying to steal Bryce Johnson from us. Should Pods be willing to trade him, or is that trading away our future? Exactly. I mean, again, he's here for now and not for long. If they make a move tomorrow, they make a move. If he's here for the next 3 weeks, while Tatis recovers, he's here for the next 3 weeks. I mean, it is what it is. Harvey, thank you for your support from the UK, I believe. We appreciate you. He says Nathan Eovaldi would be a dream. I wanted him in 22. He's put together a very nice year.
He shoved the Texas Rangers.
Yeah, he's got 3.36 and 17 starts, 99 innings, 1.071 WHIP. The Rangers, what have they done since the break? I mean, they were in a tough position.
They've won 3 in a row. The break. They're hot.
Yeah, I mean, they're hot. I mean, they're only 3 games under 500. I mean, maybe they hold. They, coming off a World Series, maybe they hold. Though. I know, it's a lot. It's a lot. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if he'll be available or not. Stay tuned. By the way, this is what the Hot or Not website looked like, Jim. Have you ever seen that?
I think I might have seen that once or twice. Yeah, when I was like
back in 2000, 5. When you were like 5.
Correct.
Okay, we're going to get back to the conversation in a moment. We do want to remind our viewers here tonight, whether you're here live or on replay, about our title sponsor on the wrap-up show. We'll talk about this upcoming trade deadline. Mark Nimitz at Farmers Insurance, guys. If you have any insurance needs, Mark's going to take care of you. Trust me. I've got homeowners and life insurance and earthquake insurance through Mark, and you can as well. He does auto as well. He can save you a lot of money. $750 or more if you switch your insurance over to Mark Nimitz. In addition to saving you money, he's just a great insurance agent with great service and communication. I know it because I've had to file a claim before back in 2022 when Nathan Eovaldi was being sought after. I had to file a claim. He saved us so much time and money. I mean, so much time and money. We had a flood in here. We were out of our house for multiple weeks. He took care of everything. He checks in on us all the time, sends us texts on birthdays. And I mean, he's just a great insurance agent.
Ask us who the Padres are going to trade all the time.
All the time. So if you have any insurance need, maybe you got a renewal coming up. Before you renew, get in contact with Mark. Maybe you're looking for information on a new policy. Get in contact with Mark at Free Quotes Online by clicking the link in the description down below. Call him. He's a lifelong Padres fan, a native San Diegan. He's a supporter of this channel since day one. He's been our title sponsor 3 years on YouTube with Mark Nimitz. So if you support this channel, please get in contact with Mark.
Yeah, all his information is in the ticker below, and Nimitz@farmersagent.com along with his number. When you reach out to Mark, let him know that John and Jim from the Wrap-Up Show sent you.
So, I mean, obviously one eye on the series and the way they're playing, another eye on the upcoming trade deadline. Jim just rattled off 10 names that are starting pitchers. I think you're going to be hearing about relievers in the days ahead. We're inside of a week. The deadline is a week from today at 3 p.m. Pacific. So we're inside of a week now. At this time next week, the trade deadline will have passed. They have just 5 games between now and the deadline. AJ at this point clearly is a buyer. He was always going to be a buyer, barring some disaster. But now that they're 3-1 on this trip, they'll be buying. The question is, we've seen kind of not conflicting reports, but Jeff Passan today saying that DeVries and Salas are off limits. But Dennis Lin writing that he could theorize someone like Eric Crochet coming to the Padres with that trade involving a top prospect like Leo DeVries. So, Passan's very good in this area. So is Dennis Lin in covering the Padres. I would still say don't rule it out. I don't think Crochet makes sense. We've talked about it. And I'm more on Team Jim from where I was 2 months ago when I first heard Crochet's name. I don't think it's a perfect fit. But I don't think you can rule it out yet because of AJ Preller. I think eventually we'll rule it out. But I'm not willing to say it's impossible because AJ Preller has made the impossible happen before when it comes to trades. And I just I don't think my jaw would drop if it happened.
It would for me, because that would mean DeVries or Salas or both are gone. And that's not happening. That would just be a complete 180 from everything that's being reported with this organization and everything that this organization has said, mostly Eric Grupner, about having to keep young talent and build around young talent because they can't keep going out and trading away young prospects, top level prospects, and expecting to be contenders when you have guys that are here for maybe a year or two and then they demand big time contracts. He has said it. Eric Grupner has said it. Eric Grupner is more stable in this organization than AJ Preller is by like a lot. It's not even close. And
say that again. I have a train going on in the background. That's why I'm muted. But say that again about Grupner.
I said Eric Grupner is more more stable in this organization than AJ Preller by a long shot. Like it's not even close. And Eric Grupner is gaining more power every single day. And I think if he puts his foot down about not trading DeVries or Salas, and even if Preller wants to do it and has an opportunity to do it and get a Garrett Crochet in here, I don't think it's happening.
You think Grupner is, now I agree with you in terms of Grupner being more secure among the executives in the ownership structure, but you believe Grupner is overseeing player personnel over Preller? He can tell Preller who moves or doesn't move? Because I'm thinking that's coming more from ownership than it's coming from the CFO or CEO, the marketing brass. I wouldn't think Grupner is determining who in the system is staying or going.
I don't think he's determining who's staying or going, but I do think when AJ has ideas and he brings it to the ownership group, I think it's 100% also going by Eric Grupner
being
as well.
Bounced off for Grupner.
Yeah, there's no, like if AJ's talking to Casenda, which is I guess like a weird dynamic there, 100% Casenda's like, hey Eric, what do you think? Like there's no, it's not like it was in the past where it was just AJ and Peter. it's multiple people now that AJ has to talk to and go through and get the okay
So
from the dude.
Grupner in this hypothetical, and I may agree, but in this hypothetical, Grupner can nix trading DeVries or Salas.
I don't think he can nix it like by himself. I do think that he has
sway,
but also he has the ear of Casenda and the ownership group. And I think, it's a perfect example. When he was on our station with Darren, the start of the season, he was talking about, hey, look, we have to build around our young talent. Why would the marketing guy talk about
He
that?
said that in 2023 because he's on the radio.
Yeah,
I mean, he's not just going to talk about selling billboards.
Yeah, and each year he has gained more power in this organization. And now with Peter Seidler unfortunately gone, I wouldn't be surprised if a couple years you have we find out like Eric Grupner has like more power with you. I don't know. I'm with AJ Preller's job not as secure as it was a year ago, and Eric Grupner's job as secure as it's ever been, and him talking about that stuff on the radio and mentioning and discussing about how you can't do this and this and that. Like, yeah, I think it goes. I think Grupner has a little say for sure.
Well, he may have a little say. I would say that if the structure does include Eric Grupner in baseball operations decisions, that to me doesn't reflect highly on an organization.
Well, then
it's a little bit like, here, let me explain. It's a little bit like if you worked in a newspaper or if you worked in radio. Radio is a good example.
Mhm.
And it's an example of, does sales get involved in editorial? Are we unable to discuss the Padres freely because the Padres advertise? I mean, this is a serious point. And in most organizations,
you don't think
they don't intersect with each other. You are not. I've never been told what editorially to say. I mean, with our program director, we weren't told because of relationship or lack thereof. I mean, you got a lot of wiggle room, do you not? We don't have conversations every day with our bosses what we can and cannot say in the air, do we?
No.
I mean, seriously.
But if I did say something,
occur. Of course.
If I did say something,
you can go outside of a box.
100%. And if an advertiser heard it and they're like, "Yo, what the F is this? Why am I advertising 100%. On a station?" Then guess 100%. What? They have sway.
But hear me out. That's fair. They're completely fair. But I'm saying, by and large, we have the ability to communicate the way we want to communicate, right? I mean, I don't get some show recap like, I'm surprised you said this about the New York Knicks.
No.
So because iHeart does business with companies all over the country, right? Mm-hmm. But my point is this: AJ Preller is here to do baseball operations until he isn't. I have no problem if they make a change and put someone else in charge of baseball operations. My point is, Eric Grupner does his job really well, but his job isn't baseball operations.
No, I know.
So that's my point. Now, he may have as much power as he's ever had, and that might be very beneficial for the organization. I think he's done a marvelous job with the marketing. I think the revenues have been significant. The TV thing's a problem. And it's not his problem, but it is his problem, and it's the organization's problem. Mm-hmm. So if he gets involved because of the financials, completely understand it. If he gets involved because of the baseball, that to me is where it goes like a bridge too far. It's like you got two lanes. You got a financial lane, but you got a baseball operations lane. If you can't do it financially, and Eric Grupner says such is the case, okay, reasonable. But if you can't do it because Eric Grupner's like, yeah, I really like DeVries and the way he's kind of swinging the bat.
No. I firmly believe that it has nothing to do with, hey, should keep DeVries because
right. Okay, no. You're saying okay, then I'm on Team Jim.
It is financially.
I gotcha.
Eric Grupner, who is like, well, first off, I mean, let's be real here. There was a lot that went into trading Juan Soto in this last offseason, and one of the big things was they were redoing Gallagher Square, and that cost a lot. Okay, I think
I mean, that's a very strong statement. I will not go along with that. If you say that's the case, that's the case. I would never.
I'm not saying it's the case, but I'm saying
that.
I'm not.
I would never say that. Capital improvement has nothing to do with organizational budget for payroll.
I was gonna say, it is interesting how, they say they didn't have the money for the payroll, yet they spent the extra money on, or whatever money out of nowhere, on a Gallagher Square renovation.
No, but that's different. You know what I mean? It's like you got different pools of money. I'll give you an example. You guys are putting down money for a home. It's a theoretical.
Mm-hmm.
San Diego's expensive. That's different money. In theory, you got money put away because of your parents or your incomes or whatever. Your wedding. I'm just making it up. You got $50K put away. You're going to put it down in a home. But that's not your monthly expenses. That $50K is separate from what you're spending week in and week out and month in and month out. You're putting that $50K to the side. Capital improvement is a separate line item to payroll for a club.
Well, also Eric Grupner
shouldn't overlap.
Well, Eric Grupner also is theoretically in charge for the TV rights deal, correct?
Yeah, that's a problem.
Okay. Now that money goes towards where?
Not having the money anymore goes to their payroll.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's a payroll problem.
Okay. So
I don't think it's a Gallagher Square thing.
I just think it is. I don't know. I'll move on after this. I do think the money issue that they had, right? It's like, wait, wow. I don't know. It just doesn't.
Bro, how much was the Gallagher Square renovation?
20 million, 25 million?
Freaking nothing.
That's a year of Juan Soto, potentially.
Bro, they didn't create Juan Soto for the 25 million for their freaking shrubbery and trees and playground.
I know. The upgrades of the stadium are important.
Yeah, and it's like the cost of doing business. Plus, I think they would tell you Gallagher Square will now make them money. Like that 25 million, they probably budgeted to make them money.
And I know it doesn't
through the 25 million.
It doesn't count towards any luxury tax or anything. But
no, of course not.
But for an organization that say, hey, last couple of years we have lost money. Okay. Right?
What do you mean?
Has that not been something that they said that they'd lost money?
Yeah, no, they have. Or I don't think the organization has said it. Like, I don't recall Eric Katsenda being like, we've lost money, or Grupner saying we've lost money, or Peter Seiler before his passing saying we've lost money. I think we've heard around baseball before they stepped in the field in 2023, they were going to lose money. But I don't recall hearing that from the organization directly. I think they cut payroll because they were underwater, and the TV deal is a big reason why.
Yes.
And they failed to meet expectations.
And he is a part of that. If he says, hey, AJ, this is the budget, we can't spend and do this, then it directly affects the on-field product.
100%. And the payroll went down because they couldn't afford to maintain that payroll without their TV revenue and certainly without making the postseason. That's where my sentence ends. My sentence doesn't include, and then they spent $25 million on Gallagher Square.
Well, I'm just saying it's the whole thing. It is interesting to me where you're like, I mean, from a just on paper, you're like, hey man, we're cutting this payroll by 100 million because we're money strapped right now.
Mm-hmm.
But we just reinvented, like redid all Gallagher Square for 20 plus million. I don't know. I'll move on.
I like it. All right. MOVA Globes. All right. We have them here. Padres. I got an Earth MOVA Globe. Everyone loves Earth. How can you not? Listen, these are available right now for you. 30 Major League officially licensed MOVA Globes, all 30 clubs, plus all the planets, I don't know, in the universe. I don't really fully understand it, but you know what I mean? Like the Saturns and the Plutos and the Earths, they sell those. If you use promo code PWS10, you're going to get 10% off. This technology where these things spin all day long with artificial or natural light was invented right here in North County, Cardiff by the Sea in San Diego. These are amazing products, great keepsakes, great desk items, officially licensed for Padres fans and baseball fans. All you have to do is click the link in the description down below. Use promo code PWS10. You're getting 10% off. Look at the screen. Look at those things. They're beautiful. They just spin all day long.
They're great.
It's a wonderful thing, Jim, isn't it?
It's a wonderful thing. We love
No
Mobile
cords,
Globe.
no batteries.
Nope. It just spins on its own. Natural light or light from the sun. So go check it out. Use our promo code and you get 10% off. They have every single baseball team. So if you're not a fan of the Padres and you want to get a globe, that's great. They have your favorite team as well. So Aaron loves it. We have the Earth Globe in our living room on our bookshelf. Padres Mobile Globe behind me here. So yeah, go out and get a Mobile Globe today.
Put these puppies in Gallagher Square.
That will pay for the payroll, the roster.
Yeah. Some spin.
Yeah.
All day long.
Perfect.
Okay.
Generate money.
What'd you say?
Generate money.
So I don't even know how we got there, other than
what we're talking about.
They got CBT. No, they got to stand with the CBT.
They're going.
That we know.
No, 100%. That is a direct call from Casenda and Grupner for sure.
Yeah, 100%. They've put everything, all the eggs in the stand with the CBT basket. Get it? They're 53-50. They're not going over it now.
Mm-hmm.
So does that take away the Nick Martinez? Hey, I'm making $14 million this year. Now I know the final 2 months of the year is only 1/3 of that, but it's like $5 million. So are you taking on those big chunks? Like a guy that's making 14 mil plus. There's a couple of those guys we've talked about that are probably 14 mil plus guys in terms of salary, which becomes like 5 million. Can you take that on, or are you looking for more that, arbitration eligible type player? Again, a Crochet, he's making nothing. I think you said Cal Quantrill, he's not making much. For a starter, 6.5 is truly nothing. So do you need to keep it like fiscally responsible, or can you reach a little bit? Tyler Anderson's making money this year. Can you reach for Tyler Anderson? Can you reach for Nick Martinez or not? I don't know the answer. I really don't know how much money they have to work with. 12 million people say maybe?
Yeah, I'm going to go with they are going to not even get close to that. And by not even get close, I mean adding another 10, 11 million of payroll, like to the point where it's like right at the tippy top. Like, oh man, any more, because I don't know how the Darvish thing affects this whole thing. Like if his money for the remainder of the season is coming off the books, because it kind of feels and seems like we aren't going to see him for the rest of the year, and whatever he was owed, it's not going to be counted towards the payroll, or I don't know how that works. Yeah, you're not looking at anybody here though, really, that you would, if you add, is going to be adding big time money. You're like, there's no $20 million pitcher out there that's available.
Scherzer.
Yeah. A lot of pitchers that are available are under the 10 million that are, that are going to be coming here. There's not one guy on the market right now that is going to be traded. I feel like that's a starting pitcher that has a 20 million price tag on him.
Yeah, I agree. Yep, I think that's right. So, well, yeah, then maybe they can afford that 14 range, because again, it's not 14. It's just 2 months of the season.
Did you see reports that the Padres have tried to go after Mason Miller of the Oakland A's?
Where did you see that?
And the Oakland A's asked for Jackson Merrill.
Yeah, I like that trade. Oh wait, no, I don't. Where was that reported?
That was reported by Ken Rosenthal. In The Athletic.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
No.
I mean, again, they shoot big. Like, I'm just reading Dennis tonight, Talking Friars, posting what Dennis wrote, Ben Fadden, saying that the Padres are inquiring about, listen to this, guys. This is a bit of breaking news, and this could be mind-blowing. They're inquiring on, listen to this, pitchers and hitters. Yeah, I said it.
Dude.
Yeah, both of those types of players.
They're trying to acquire pitchers and hitters?
Inquiring. So they've called teams on not just pitchers, guys that throw, but hitters.
Wow.
Yeah. So
could we just like take a moment here
to let that sink in?
Just think about that. Think about that report that John said. The Padres are inquiring about pitchers and hitters.
Speaking of which, now listen, Luis Arraez tonight gets hit on the hand again. He then homers 2 pitches later, which is great. But, I mean, you're always thinking about it. Dennis wrote about it tonight. You know, there might be looking at hitters because of Tatis and also because of Arraez. A possible desire for insurance in case Arraez re-aggravates his thumb. The need for pitchers is well known. Let's see, but the Padres continue to need more bullpen depth and rotation reinforcements. They do not have a fifth starter named for this weekend series.
Okay.
The Nationals are among the teams that can offer relief help. We've talked to a couple of people this week about that. Finnegan, their closer, has been really good. Derek Law, Dylan Floro.
I'm thinking here. Probably not. They don't have it. They don't have a bullpen equipped for a bullpen day right now. For Saturday.
Yeah, I would just call someone up. You know, I don't know who that is. I would assume you'd call. I'd rather do that than tax my bullpen, probably.
Say you get to Saturday and you're 6-2 on the trip.
You get to Saturday, you've only played 7 games.
You're 5-2 on the trip.
Okay, so you win the next 2. Or 2 of the next 3?
2 of the next 3.
Yeah.
You're 5-2 on the trip. Did you say F it and go add a major one more time?
Yeah, I mean, they may do that even if they're 3-4 on the trip. I don't know if they have another option. Yeah, that's a fair question. I have no idea. It's also who lines up for that day in the minors. Like, you're not going to, pitch someone Thursday and then have them available Saturday. So I don't know. I wouldn't worry too much about it. Like, if that's the only bullpen / number 5 starter that you have to deal with the rest of the way because you make an acquisition.
Yeah, they'll make a move.
And by the way, they could make a move before Saturday. That's you're getting a little tight on like timeline because today is what I keep thinking it's Wednesday, it's Tuesday. I mean, I guess you could make a trade Wednesday or Thursday and pitch someone Saturday. Mm-hmm. That's a little optimistic / aggressive. Like, you're making a move early just because you're going to throw them Saturday. That it doesn't always work like that. In fact, I'd be surprised if it worked like that. And we haven't seen shoes dropping yet, Jim. Like, we haven't seen moves around baseball. Like, it'll happen. There'll be that first early move. It's not going to all happen July 29th. So there'll be that July 26th move, maybe before. I mean, tomorrow's the 24th. There'll be a move by the 26th around baseball that's of significance. And then there'll be moves all the way through the 30th. But we're waiting for that first shoe is my point. And it typically happens now within like 5 days of the deadline.
Yeah. Yeah. But until then, just play some good baseball. Started off good here in Washington. The Xander Bogaerts thing, do you want to just...
we need to talk about that.
Want me to just concede? I'll just concede. Fine.
That's no fun. What are you conceding again?
I said that what he has done so far since returning has been really good. I just would like to see it matched with some pop. And you said,
I like screamed at you.
You're like, you're an idiot. He's had multiple games in like 5 of 6 games he's been back. Just because he has a slugging percentage of 380 right now, and just because he has 1 RBI since returning, and just because he has no home runs, you're an idiot. You don't know baseball.
Right.
I'm like,
yeah, that's what I said.
Okay, chill. I am just telling you that if you're going to hit Bogaerts in the middle of your lineup, you would like a little more pop, or at least more. If runner at second, drive him in. Like, getting on base and getting the hits is good. And I know dating back to when he was before he got hurt, he was kind of doing the same thing. A lot of singles, not a lot of pop. a lot of driving runs in, but he had I think a 6 or 7 game hitting streak or something like that.
Yeah, he's hitting 6 of 7.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, but here's the thing. We both said, but let me just hear the opposite side of that coin.
I know.
I hear what you're saying.
I know.
No, not just the opposite side of him hitting 380. The other side of that coin, I'm trying to do two things at once, by the way, is we said we'd also give him time because he was coming off an injury that sidelined him for 2 months. So to be critical of a guy that's actually come through, I was willing to not be critical of the guy even if he wasn't coming through for the first, week or so of games because he had missed so much time. So it's a little bit like, what are we really asking of him? He wasn't playing well before the injury. He's actually playing better since the injury. I agree. He hasn't hit for power, but we can't have all things at once. Rome wasn't built in a day. And if he's going to hit for average, I think Padres fans are going to sign up for it. If that's who he's going to be in the second half of the year, he's going to hit for average without power. And by the way, typically power comes when you hit for average. Typically power comes when you hit for average. So, I'm pleased is what I would say. I think Padres fans probably feel similarly that the fact that he's been back for a week or whatever it is, and he's hit whatever he's hit, I don't even have in front of me, 380 or whatever it is, however he hit 380, I can't kick that out of bed.
This is infinitely better than the alternative, which is
him just not hitting.
Him not hitting. I understand that, and I get that, and trust me, I'm glad that he's getting hits, and I'm glad he's getting on base because the last thing anybody wanted to do was just continue back on the Xander this, Xander that, Xander that. But I will say, dating back to when he had his 6 out of 7 games that he hit in a row, and the one game he didn't get a hit was the game he got injured against Atlanta. Mm-hmm. Okay. Dating back to May 12th.
Okay.
Now it's a little skewed because numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 11, 12, 13. So 14 games here. If you want to go farther than that, you're looking at 15, 16, 17, 20 games here. The last 20 games, he has 3 extra base hits.
What's he done if you include tonight? If you do May 12th through tonight, which again, I don't even know how relevant any of the May stuff is because he got hurt.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't really care.
Average-wise, it's been great.
It's got to be 360 or something.
It's been great average-wise for sure. Yeah. Since then, he's I don't know his average. Maybe you could look it up real quick here. But since then, since May 12th, average has been great. He's been on base a lot of multi-hit games. But the thing that I'm talking about is since then, he's got 2 homers, 4 RBIs.
Since May 12th?
Total. I'm just total, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I don't even care about the May stuff. It would only benefit my argument. I'm not even going to make my argument with May. I'm just going to tell you that since he's returned, I'm looking around, he's played in 6 games, and he's had 5 multi-hit games, 5 2-hit games in those 6. Well, I don't even know what the math is on it.
He's hitting 400 since his return.
Okay, so he's hit 400. He's 10 for 25, 400. Yeah, he has no extra base hits. He hit a ball off the wall that was a single. He's got an RBI. So he's 400, 400, 400. 400 average, 400 on base, 400 slug, which is an 800 OPS. I mean, shoot, if you would have told me his first week back he'd have an 800 OPS, I'd be like, yes, please. He's a 500 OPS player this year.
Right.
Or whatever, 580 coming in. So I'm honestly pleasantly surprised with it. I didn't know he was going to hit for average when he came back. I really didn't. I had no clue what he was going to do. And I don't know if this is who he's going to be. I don't know if he's going to actually hit for power but not hit for average, or hit for average in the second half of the year. But I do know this. It's squeezed Donovan Solano out. Now, that might change the next 2 days with real, true left-handed starting pitching. I know the Nats threw a lefty today, but 2 more lefties coming up the next 2 days. Solano presumably is in there. But Bogaerts ain't coming out. They're going to ride this guy. I don't care what happens. If he hits or he doesn't hit, the proof's in the pudding. He's playing every day. That's what's going to happen for the rest of the year. And hopefully he can continue hopefully he can help him, is all I'd say. He's not hitting 400 over the next 59 games. That's stupid. but hopefully can help him. Maybe he can hit 300 over the next 59 games. He's been capable of doing that throughout his career.
Yeah, look, coming back off of injury, getting on base, multi-hit games, that is, you have, as I see in the chat, you got to walk before you run.
Right.
Hopefully the power will come. Hopefully the extra base hits will come. Hopefully the run production will come. All of that.
Mm-hmm.
I hope it does, because the last thing you want is this guy just to be a singles merchant that doesn't drive in any runs, doesn't hit for any power. And yes, it's great that he gets on base, and that's great. But like when you're hitting in the middle of that lineup and you're getting paid $26 million a year, I would much rather prefer. And I know it's nitpicking. I'm sorry. You can hate me. I don't care. I know it's nitpicking.
It's not about hate.
It's not hate at all. I'm just saying, like, guy's making $26 million. I wish 3 of his 10 hits since returning were like extra base hits. That'd be nice.
Yeah, I don't even equate it to the money. I equate it to.
I do.
I know, but it's
and the where he's hitting. He hit third tonight, which again, 2 hits, great. I'm saying as this goes on, I just hope that he gets he shows the pop and shows the power.
This has way more, if you're going to balance the two, salary or where he's hitting the lineup, way more to do with where he's going to hit than what he's going to make. Maybe
that's a good idea.
All these guys, listen, it's so easy to be critical because they make money. We all do it. I'll say, oh my gosh, Musgrove's out and he's making 20. Darvish is out and his AAV is 20. Machado hasn't hit and he makes 35. Tatis is on the IL and he makes 30. They just need these guys to produce. I don't care what they make. They need them to be healthy. I don't care what they make. They need to drive in runs. I don't care what they make. So yes, of course, it's always part of the story, and there's more pressure on guys that make money. That's just how sports work. That's how life works. The higher profile position you have, the more attention there is on you. They talk more about the president of the United States than they do the governor of Colorado, right? There's a pecking order in politics. There's a pecking order in sports. Guys that, hit 40 home runs in the season are discussed more often than guys that hit 10 in a season. So Bogaerts gets it. They all get it. I mean, they have to perform, but I don't need Bogaerts to be the $280 million player right now. I need him to be better than he had been in the first half of the year and better than he was because he wasn't consistent in 2023. I don't know if we're going to get everything we wanted at any point or right away. So we'll take what we can get, which is hopefully better than what we saw in the first half of the season, is what I would say. So we'll see. I mean, like you said earlier, here's where I would end my part of the conversation. Their offense is more than good enough and arguably good with Fernando Tatis Jr., like arguably a top 10 offense in baseball with Fernando Tatis Jr. I think even without Tatis, they've proven to be serviceable. This is not an anemic, pathetic, awful offense. It's serviceable without Tatis. They need Tatis back, and I think it can become a good offense.
And maybe Xander doesn't have that power right now because his shoulder. Maybe that's the thing, and okay, I get it. And then if he's going to just give you single after single, then you take it and maybe you move him in the lineup or you put him in a position like, I don't know, like maybe that's just what he's going to be for the remainder of the season. I won't view it as like what you paid for, and the money I still think it's a thing and it matters. Like you can't just take the money out of the equation for me because it does matter. Like we're not sitting here ripping Tyler Wade if he doesn't come through. He's making nothing. But when Xander doesn't come through, that's a problem because you're paying him a bunch of money to come through, and that's his job. And since he's returned, he's been fantastic. You just hope that going forward, if it's not a shoulder thing, you hope that production, it shows.
I think I missed this super from earlier, a few minutes ago. John, thank you, man, for the super chat. He says, do we see a Tommy Pham reunion? I don't, personally, because I think Tommy Pham's going to want to end up somewhere where he's actually playing. So that, to me, doesn't make it a perfect fit. He might play to start August for a team that doesn't have Fernando Tatis Jr., but what if Tatis comes back, I don't know, August 10th? I don't know when he's coming back, but I don't think it's going to be as late as September. Hopefully it's not. So I don't know if they need that true veteran outfield piece like Pham provided to Arizona last year. where he played every single day and was a key contributor on a team that kind of got going over the final 30 games of the regular season. Never say never. We've been told Preller likes Pham. Obviously, he'd been here previously, but I don't think. And what did Pham end up signing for in the engine was very little. Obviously, he waited for forever, but before signing, it couldn't have been a big number. Nowhere near what he wanted.
I don't
looking that up.
Exactly.
Curious.
It was a low number.
Yeah, what'd he get? I'm curious, and he got. I don't have it in front of me. Looking at Baseball Reference, I don't see it. Tommy Pham contract. I'm assuming it's less than $5 million. Here it is. I'm curious. White Sox deal. It is a 3. Could be worth $3 million.
Got it.
Could be worth $3 million. So it makes nothing. So you owe him $1 million or less.
Do you really want to put Tommy Pham in here?
Me personally, no. I've never been a fan, but I mean, I guess I would understand it. Like if Tatis was out for the next 6 weeks or something, I would understand a move like that. But you can't rule anything out. But no, I don't. I'm not enamored by Tommy Pham.
Did you know? Listen to this. Listen to this stat.
Yeah.
Did you know that Bobby Witt Jr. is hitting 411 at home with a 1207 OPS? But on the road, he's only hitting 270 with a 744 OPS.
Don't try to bait me into this. For some reason, Jim has become fascinated by Bobby Witt Jr.
I love Bobby Witt Jr.
Well, yeah. Well, everyone does. He's like leads baseball in WAR.
Yeah, it's great.
That's great. I wish the Padres had the player that led baseball in WAR. That'd be nice.
That'd be cool. Be sweet, dog.
Bobby Witt, man. I'm not gonna say anything like I said about Ohtani.
Call him the most overrated player ever. Do it.
No, I'm not doing that. I don't feel that way. I do need to tell. By the way, there's a brand new game at Underdog Fantasy we're gonna tell you about in a moment. But Zach, thank you for the super. I know. He says, honestly, sign Paxton off the scrap heap. See, I like Paxton as my 6th. This is what I'm talking about. This is why I want to add 2 starters. I need a number 6. I don't even know if Paxton's good enough to be my number 6. Like my hypothetical is Flaherty Martinez are my 2 ads. And Flaherty moves in front of Vasquez, and then Martinez moves behind Vasquez. And I got 6 guys for the final 55 games of the year. That to me, I'm covered. I've got the cover I need. I'm positioned to make the postseason. By the way, it's not going to be easy. Look at the NL wildcard right now. Padres with 3 straight wins are on the outside looking in by a half game. So these other teams, I think Mets are adding, Cardinals are adding, Braves are good. Maybe we'll see how good. But I mean, Paxton, what do you think? Is that closer to Rich Hill or is it closer to, a number 3 starter?
That's closer to like a number 5 starter, honestly.
Yeah.
He can give you innings. He can make starts for you. He made every single start with the Dodgers this year, but he wasn't giving you like anything crazy good. He's
high whip, really high whip.
Yeah. And when you're thinking about it, I mean, I don't know if Johnny Brito,
what his status is.
Yeah, what his status is in the minor leagues, but I mean, I would say Paxton's probably like maybe a tad bit better than Johnny Brito, if that. So I mean, I think if this was August, like middle to late August, and they were desperate, they would definitely look at Paxton for sure.
Right. If it was after the deadline.
Yeah. But there's probably way better options out there that Preller has his eyes on first, that I would be shocked if James Paxton gets even picked up by any team before the deadline. Right.
Because that's interesting. Yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, he'll be on waivers presumably. So maybe there's a timeline there for someone to claim, but then he would be a free agent. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a very good point. Okay. I do want to let our viewers know. Okay. Let's take a view of this together. I've not played this one time. I just uploaded it during the live stream. So stand by.
So wait, you can do 11?
Hear me out.
11?
Okay, it's a big number.
80 times your money?
Here, you can win so think about that. You can win what's the math on that? You make a $10 wager on streaks.
Let me do it right now.
And you can win 10 grand. That's what it is. You make a $10 wager and you can win 10 grand. You make a $100 wager, you can win $100,000. Here's what it is. You could win up to 1,000 times your money by playing the newest pick'em game, all right, from Underdog. It's called Streaks. The road to greatness. Start your streak off by nailing a pick 2. That's it. A simple pick'em. Jurickson Profar, higher or lower than a half total base. Manny Machado, higher or lower than 1.5 total bases. You hit the pick 2. If you hit 9 picks more in a row, so just in your pick'ems at Underdog Fantasy, and by the way, use promo code PODSWRAP, you'll get the free special pick. You'll get a 50% deposit match. You get a pick 2 right, then you hit 9 picks more in a row, and you're going to win 1,000 times your money. Like 1,000 times. I mean, a $5 wager turns into $5,000. Like, that's utter insanity because you don't need to. I mean, you play $5, you win $5 grand if something like this happens. Yeah. So you can do this right now. It's available at Underdog. Click the link in the description down below. Use promo code PODSWRAP. That's PADSWRAP. Again, you can win 1,000 times your money by playing the newest pick'em game from Underdog. It's Streaks, the road to greatness. I mean, I'm down. I'm going to do this right now. I'll do a pick'em, pick 2, and then try to turn $5 into $5 grand. I promise you that. I'll do it right now.
Hold on. Let me do one more here.
You're doing it right now? Are you picking 11?
Okay. So I did. Hold on. Let's see. All right. Here's what I need to have to happen.
Okay.
Pretty simple.
This is
pretty simple. I need CJ Abrams to get 1.5 total, higher than 1.5 total bases. I need Manny to hit a home run. I need Bobby Witt Jr. to have higher than 2 total bases. Shout out Bobby Witt.
No, you don't need to do this all in one night.
I know, but I'm just telling you what you could what could happen. I want to do Shohei Ohtani higher than a half home run. I want to do Bryce Harper higher than 1.5 total bases. I want to do Jurickson Profar higher than 1.5 total or lower than 1.5 total bases. I want to do Trey Lipscomb higher than a half total base. And I want to do Matt Waldron higher than 1 or half strikeout in the first inning.
What's $60
pays out to 17 grand.
Yes, do that.
Oh my God.
Hit that, dude. And if you flex it, what's it say if you flex it? Because if you get
it automatically gives you a flex. So if you do
flex is 17,
it won't let you. Standard payouts are only available for entries with 5 or fewer picks.
Okay, so what happens if you get one wrong? Do you still win? How much do you win?
You can win 5.95 times your money. So 60 times 5.
Yeah, perfect. So you're going to still win like $400.
So you can get 6. Yeah.
It's like Powerball. If you hit Powerball, you win millions. But if you get most of them right, you still
3,
win like
4,
tens of thousands.
5, 6, 7, 8. So I have 8 there. If you get 8 correct, you win the 17 grand. You get 7 correct, you get 14 times. And if you get 6 correct, you get.
It's like Powerball.
Yeah. So there you go.
Join Jim, join me. Underdog Fantasy, promo code PODSWRAP, PADSWRAP. The brand new Streaks game, you can win 1,000 times your money in a single night. 1,000 times. That's crazy. Use promo code PODSWRAP, PADSWRAP. Speaking of wagering, thank you, JD Gacho. I like this segue. FanDuel, Jim, says U.S. men's soccer is plus 600 to win the gold. How do you feel about that? What do you think of the U.S. men's soccer team as they get ready for Paris this weekend?
Not great.
You don't like their chances of winning at all?
No, I don't. I really don't.
Because U.S. soccer doesn't win any international competition, do they? Have they ever?
Correct. They're not great.
Have they ever won? And JD Gacho would probably know this or can look it up. They've never won a World Cup, obviously, and they've never won have they won an Olympic competition in soccer? There's no way.
I'm going to say no from the men's side.
I'm going to say no. I could be wrong, but I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no on that. Wow. What a day. I don't know why I'm saying that, though.
It's hot in here, and it's only Tuesday.
I know. I thought it was Wednesday. All right. Tomorrow, John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, 3 p.m. We'll get you ready for game 2 of the series between the Padres and the Nats. And then tomorrow night, right here on the wrap-up show, following game 2 of this 3-game series, Padres are hot. They've won 3 straight. They're 53-50. We're not going down that path again. Please subscribe. Year-on content for Padres fans. We need to get to 6,600 subscribers by the trade deadline. We need your help. If you want the Padres to make a splash, we need to get to 6,600 subscribers. Rules are rules, so please subscribe. Smash the like button for us. We'd love to get a couple hundred likes on this video here tonight following a Padres win. Follow us on X at John Schaefer, at Jim Russell SD. If you're here on replay, thank you for the super thanks, and we appreciate your support of the channel for those that become members by clicking the join button down below. Thank you to our partners, Mark Nimitz at Farmers Insurance, Mova Globes. If you want 10% off your globe, use promo code PWS10. Click the link in the description down below. Underdog Fantasy, we just told you about their brand new contest Streaks. You can win 1,000 times your money, $5, turn it into $5,000. Use promo code PADSWRAP. That's PADSWRAP. All right, Padres win 4-0 over the Nats in DC. For Jim, I'm John.
They're hot.
It's hot
Again.